Hey y'all, so about 2 months ago I picked up a brand new DW Purpleheart snare drum. At first glance you might think it shipped with a coated Remo ambassador. The DW branded heads are made by Remo after all. But there is a difference between the DW version of the coated head versus the true Remo coated ambassador. So today we're going to look at what that difference actually is and how it actually affects the sound. Okay, so let's get started with the similarities. Both heads are single ply. The Remo coated ambassador has a 10mm thickness. DW doesn't say what the thickness is on their heads, but if I had to guess, it's probably also 10mm. The big difference, of course, is in the coating. Specifically, the DW version of the head seems to have significantly less coating on it. As you can tell, I've worn out a significant amount of the coating on the drum. Now, I've only had this drum for, as of when I'm recording this, 2 months, and it's had about 60 hours of playtime, which I know from having used coated Remo ambassadors a lot, that's a ton of the coating that's been removed over such a short amount of time. If you take a side-by-side glance of them, you can actually see that the Remo coated ambassador has a very solid looking coating to it, whereas the DW version, it looks a little bit more sparse. It's definitely visually different between the two. Also, this probably doesn't matter too much, but if you look at where the edge of the drums go, you can see that the Remo version, the coating goes all the way to the edge, whereas on the DW version, you can actually see the metal there. Now, why is this important? Well, according to Remo, the coating causes the drum to have a warmer or fuller sound to it. So the fact that the DW one has less coating applied, maybe it means that that one is a little less warm or a little less full. I also suspect that the Remo version is going to have a little bit more of controlled sound to it because there is more of this coating applied to the head that's going to restrict the movement of the head. So maybe the DW one will be a little less controlled as a result. A quick note before we get to the sound samples and just what the recording setup is. So again, there's a Purpleheart Snare 14, 6.5. I got a Shure Beta 57 on it. That is running through a Universal Audio 610 preamp. And there's not going to be any compression outboard on that guy. Once it gets into the computer, there's not going to be any compression or EQ or gate inside of the computer. It's going to be kind of the raw track. But the other tracks, like my bass drum, those will have additional processing on them. Also, just to make things a bit more consistent, I did use a tune bot, so we should have the same pitch of the drum with both heads. So what did you guys think? Could you tell the difference? Did you think that one had a more open or better sound than the other? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, I am putting out all sorts of other drum related content all the time, more gear review stuff and recording tips and lessons. So if you don't want to miss out, then don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, peace.